You dread starting your workday because you know you've got 17 things to do. And last time you had so many, you only got 2 of them done by lunch. And by the time the end of the day rolled around, you were staying late just to try to get a couple more things to check off your to-do list. You get home late, 7 o'clock, walk in, and your wife looks at you and says, "What did you get done today?" And you respond gruffly and just say, "Ugh, something. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it." You go sit on the couch, pop out your phone, and you're doom scrolling while your kids are tugging on your knee, asking to play with you. It's frustrating to be so withdrawn and numb and overwhelmed because the business you started is just not making the progress and building the momentum that you hoped it would. After the kids go to bed and your wife goes to sleep, you tell yourself that you're going to get a couple more things done. So you pop up the laptop and you end up sitting in your living room, doom scrolling, watching your favorite TV show, or just watching video after video and just trying to numb the pain. You end up staying up till 2 a.m. just because you lose track of time and you're frustrated at yourself for not getting anything done. Hardly getting enough sleep, the next day you start already behind and you've got a sales call that day. You go into that sales call dealing with so much imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and fear that, let's face it, you wouldn't even buy from yourself. And you're trying to convince somebody else to purchase your product, your service, or to support your business or partner with you in some way. I have been there, and it is agonizing, miserable, frustrating, and extremely challenging. If that's you, I want to encourage you that you do not need more self-discipline. That is not the problem at all. Don't try and just fix it and work harder and work longer hours because you're going to burn out and you're going to give up on the dream that was your business in the first place. Instead, I want to encourage you with 3 specific things that you can do to fight business overwhelm and to reinstall creativity and productivity on your day-to-day. So you're checking off those to-do items and you don't have to be so frustrated on a regular basis. The first thing I want to challenge you to do is to remember that you're a human. You're not just an entrepreneur. You've got to step back and get off the hamster wheel every once in a while and go do something fun. Yeah, turn off your phone, turn off your laptop, stop looking at notifications, and go for a walk in the sunlight. Or maybe set aside Thursday evening and actually take your wife on a date to a fancy restaurant, something you've been telling yourself you don't have the time to do. But the reality is, if you're not making any progress in your business, if you're frustrated, overwhelmed, and not making sales, you don't have time not to. Remember that you're a human. Take Saturday morning and take your kids to the park. Take them on a picnic. Enjoy the reasons you're doing this in the first place. I remember one day, after weeks of grinding away and making no progress, my wife coming into my office, looking and seeing me doom scrolling on my phone, and she said, "Andrew, you need to get out." And what she meant was, let's hop in the car, grab the kids, load them up, and go out to your favorite restaurant. And I didn't want to, and I felt this overwhelming guilt and frustration that I hadn't been productive that day, and that she caught me not being productive when I said I was going to go work and make progress and make money for our family. But I set it aside and went with her. We got in the car, we drove to my favorite place to eat. And as we sat there eating barbecue, something started to wash over me, and I just felt this peace. I felt centered again. I felt like, yes, I'm doing this, but I'm doing it for my best friend, my wife. And I'm doing it because I want to create a legacy for my kids that are sitting around this table, enjoying mac and cheese with no cares in the world at all, aside from trying to stay up as late as they could that night watching a movie and not really wanting to hit our real bedtime. I felt anchored again. That I'm not just an entrepreneur, but I'm a dad, I'm a husband, and As we drove home that night and after putting the kids to sleep, I felt like maybe I just need to reconnect with God. And that's the second thing I want to encourage you to do is take some time, open the scripture and pray and ask God for his perspective of you, of your business, and of this season of your life. And when I did that, something reconnected, it rekindled in my heart, and I realized I am not just what God calls me to do, but I am also a son. God is my father, and he wants to take care of me and provide for me. And you know what? I am already accepted by him. If I get rejection after rejection on sales calls, it doesn't matter. If I post and nobody sees it, if I run a marketing initiative and it doesn't get any response, I don't have to be discouraged because I know this is something that God is calling me to do. And I know that he is with me. And he promises that in his presence is fullness of joy and that he never leaves us or forsakes us. And you've got to be able to anchor your heart in that, because if you look to your business to give you joy, to give you fulfillment, even if you're successful for a period of time, you will constantly be stressed out trying to protect that success and keep it from failing. But if you shift your eyes and you trust God and not yourself, then he's the one who is holding everything together. And whether it's working or it's not, you can have peace. You can have freedom from business bondage today. And all it takes is turning to God in prayer. After you've remembered that you're a human being, you're not just an entrepreneur. You're a husband and a father. And more importantly than that, you're a son. And God sees you, cares about you, he's with you, and he wants to give you the path forward each step of the way. The next thing that's important to do to avoid getting back into that pattern of overwhelm is to get around other like-minded, God-fearing entrepreneurs. I like to do calls at least weekly with people that I consider heroes in the faith, people that I look up to, people that are mentors of mine, also with people that are peers, that are building business alongside me. I take that time to ask the hard questions, to open up about the places where I feel overwhelmed. On one specific call, I burst into tears, and in front of a group of people I had just met, I asked this question: is it time to hang up everything? Or should I keep trying to build this business? And the response I want to share with you, because if you clicked on this video, you may be feeling that same thing. And what I was told was, a year worth of doing business is not enough to know whether it's going to succeed or not. Especially if you're in the expertise or consulting space, plan for 6 years. And I know that might be hard to hear, but plan that it's going to take longer, get this, not for you to build a business, but for you to become the person who God can trust with increase in business. And honestly, the pressure and challenge that you're feeling right now is pressure that you need to start realizing. If I'm overwhelmed, that is immediately a key indicator that I need to get this expectation off onto God and not onto myself. That I need to learn how to not carry the weight. Because if you're overwhelmed when your business isn't even succeeding, imagine how you're going to feel when you have 50 employees counting on you to get paid every other week, who have families of their own and mouths to feed. That is a whole different level of responsibility. And if you can't learn to trust God now when it's just you, or just you and a handful of people, it's going to be a lot harder and a lot more weight. And you're going to kill yourself trying to carry all of that yourself, as opposed to trusting God and placing it on his shoulders. So take the time to connect with mentors. If you go to church on a regular basis, if you don't, I would encourage you to. And if you do, connect with other believers. They don't have to be in business, but if they can be, if you can find people who've run businesses who are a couple decades ahead of you, take the time to ask them if you can take them out to lunch and just talk to them about the Lord. Talk to them about doing business with God. And because so many of us Don't start out with these types of connections when you're switching from a 9 to 5 job to being a full-time business owner and an entrepreneur. That's why I started the Business with God community. And check out the link below. It's called chaos2calling.com. And I have a free course that I'm offering that will walk you through exactly how to anchor peace in your heart, avoid anxiety and the other pitfalls that come from not knowing how to trust God in this area, and then building up your conviction, focus, passion, and clarity about what it is God's called you to do and how to partner with Him in that. Remember, overwhelm is temporary, but if you choose to focus on God and not just trust in yourself, you can get out of that mindset immediately, and you can get away from that business overwhelm, frustration, anxiety, and that numb feeling. Thank you so much for watching. Click the link below to get that free Chaos to Calling course and subscribe for more videos.